in terms of translating what we're doing here into daily life, sometimes we have kids come and they're good kids. They're all good kids, but some of them don't take it. They don't always take it seriously, and it seems like it's easy just to for things to go in one ear and out the other. And how do you deal with those issues to make them aware how critical their choices are? These are just small choices, but we want to give them a sense that their choices have consequences, and that we don't have unlimited time. And the youth is not. What they say, youth is wasted on the young. Sometimes an old proverb. But it doesn't have to be true. Sometimes it is, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Right. Well, one of the things that I do in the camp from the very beginning is I'll bring it up tonight in the first talk, is I put it right back on them. You're going to make decisions. And these decisions are going to affect you, and they're going to affect everybody else around you. Every day of your life, you make decisions. The habits that we form are primarily decisions that we make daily or throughout any given length of time that start to develop in us behavior patterns, not primarily because of decisions that we make. Sometimes obviously our environment has a lot to do with that to a degree. But the point I'm going to make to these guys is the decisions that you make in this camp here during this day or this weekend or whatever the length of it may be affect not only you but everybody around you. And every day of your life, it's the same thing. When you're sitting at the kitchen table and you decide on your own that when mom or dad sets the food in front of you, you're going to say, yuck, I don't like it. That decision has a consequence that affects everybody else there. Now, it may affect it very negatively. Pretty soon your little brother or your little sister or somebody else says, yeah, I don't like it either. And then you bring the mood down. You affect mom and dad. She may have worked hard. He may have worked hard to prepare this. And your decision carries with it the consequence of tearing something down. That may be a small issue to say, yuck, I don't like it. But you can decide to do it in a different way. You can decide to say, it's not my favorite thing, but I appreciate what you did and I'll eat it anyway. Show a little heroic respect there and a little self-sacrifice and stop whimpering like a little dog. We have a little saying out here, dogs whimper, men don't. And so that's something that we have the kids shout out oftentimes in the camp. But I think to try to put right back on these boys, your decisions affect more than just you. And what I'm trying to say to them is many of you will become husbands and fathers. Some of you may become priests. Some of you may, who knows, maybe we've got a bishop here in this group who will lead a diocese. Who's to say we don't have a pope, a politician, a lawyer, whatever it may be? But you have to understand that you will lead people only as well as you have been trained to lead. Now, I like that saying again, to go back to, a man is not built in a day. And so there must be a consistency, and it must come from dad above everybody else. Dad has got to be lovingly but firmly all over this when it comes to forming and shaping his boys to be men. But the daily approach of your decisions. What did you decide? And you know this when your son may talk rudely to his brother in one moment and then you walk in the room and he turns and speaks respectfully to you. Well, what happened? Well, he chose right there. It wasn't as if he had no control over his tone of voice. This was his brother. This was his dad. He knew who he was talking to at the time that he spoke that way. So it's decision. So I go right back to the boys. You're making decisions. They're affecting not just you. In the camp, there are drills that are run and consequences that are given. Consequences meaning good and not so good, comfortable and uncomfortable, based on the decisions that they make. If they answer the questions right, if they've decided to study the faith, and they know, for example, the Magnificent Seven, the consequence is everybody might get a break. The consequence, if they don't know it, is everybody in their group has got to run a lap or do another 20 push-ups. It's to let them know that if you as a husband and father drop the ball, the consequence of you not knowing your faith or not feeding your family or not loving your wife is going to be some form of chaos in your family and in your home. So put it right back on them. The decision is yours, what kind of a man you're going to be.
That's great. We want to go down to the rope swing.
Okay.
This will be our last station.
Okay.
Tabor, we have all the pieces, but we just didn't get it in. Yeah.
You've done an enormous amount of work, Father, in the amount of time you've had here. And, now, have you had a lot of rain going on as you've been working on this?
No, we haven't had a lot of rain. They say we're going to get a lot of rain tonight, so it's just one of those things. But tomorrow should be good.
Well, Well, you know,
we've had good weather.
The great thing about this type of course and type of workout, the whole boot camp philosophy, is that when it comes to life, there's nothing that's sure. We don't know what's around the corner. We don't know what's coming tomorrow. So, you know, if someone says, well, the conditions aren't just quite right for the push-ups or the pull-ups or what have you, it's like, you know what? Not everything in life is like that. So you've really just got to kind of take some things the way they come. And so a course like this and a workout like this is something that you just have to kind of endure, that it's going to be difficult at times. So a little moisture, a little mud, you're going to slip once in a while, you know. You're going to get bruised once in a while. But, you know, show me anybody who's gone through any amount of life lesson at all that hasn't had something like that happen to him.
Yeah.
So.
Have you seen the book, The Dangerous Book for Boys?
Yeah, I saw. I haven't looked through it, but I just saw the cover.
It's pretty interesting. And the guy's philosophy is, you know, if you don't let boys take a few risks, reasonable risks, then later on, you know, they're going to start taking unreasonable ones.
Right. Oh, I agree with
you
that.
know, so
yeah.
It's a great little book.
Well, you know, that brings
it's
up.
It's not religious, but it's got lots of stuff.
Understanding the psychology of a young man. You know,
and it's got lots of great research and projects you can do with your son.
Well, they need it. They need to hunt for lizards and snakes, and they need to climb trees, and they need to get scratches and bruises once in a while. I mean, there's nothing wrong as long as it is monitored and mentored by an adult, you know, father primarily, but the adult male community to help them understand what is too far, what is unsafe, you know, what is unhealthy, you know. Yeah. But it is necessary for us to get these bumps, bruises, calluses, you know, toughen the skin up a little bit. You know, there's a lot of times. I mean, how many men go through this in day-to-day life? You have to toughen up to get up every morning to go do your job. When you don't want to do it, you got to swallow your pride. You've got to bring home a paycheck, put food on the table. It is essential. And we know what happens to the families where a man doesn't do that. The family falls apart. Yeah. And when the family falls apart, society falls apart. Yeah. And we've seen all around. John Paul II said that the family is the vital cell of society. Right. And a lot of our vital cells have cancer, unfortunately. And a lot of that it goes back to us men. You know, if we drop the ball, the whole family suffers. And so much of it does not have to happen. Yeah. If men would get on the ball and do their job, toughen up a bit, and be able to take those bumps and bruises along the way.
So do we want to get some of these men here to get on the ball and do the
I'd like to see these guys up on the ropes here, yeah. Yeah, we are missing some of them, it looks like here.
I don't know. I think maybe you go
I don't think we have all the eyeballs on it.
I know.
I didn't expect that. Woo! No, I didn't mean that. Good job, buddy. Yeah.
That's the rope without any knots, too. So that's much more difficult.
These are bolts.